Hello and welcome back to Meet the Management. This time I'm joined by Alex Brown, who is the strength and conditioning coach for Wales Soccer. Alex, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Enjoying this weather.
Yeah, it's been stunning today, isn't it? It's been glorious. Trying to make the most of it.
Yeah, so obviously you've just finished a Masters.
Correct.
And you've somehow got involved with Wales Soccer. How has that sort of come about?
Yeah, well, last year, really, after finishing my Masters, I was sort of struggling to get a job full-time. And I was working a bit for the Premier League at the time, just going in around football clubs and sort of doing baseline fitness testing. And at that time, I was contemplating and considering trying to make a career in football. And I saw this job advertised on Twitter, so I thought, outstanding opportunity, voluntary or not, just to get some experience. Obviously, some experience is good experience, and especially in such a competitive environment like strength and conditioning is, sort of trying to get your name out there, building bridges, building connections, meeting people is an important thing. So I thought, yeah, it'd be a fantastic opportunity, and obviously an opportunity for me as well to sort of actually deliver S&C, so which is obviously important as well. So yeah, that was the main reason as to get in touch with Barry over Twitter, really, and actually trying to get in on the Wales Soccer side.
So what do you sort of hope to bring to the team in your role?
Obviously, being a sort of strength and conditioning coach and or sports scientist, if you want to call it. So my main sort of role is sort of, I want to be able to bring that sort of professional culture and environment to the team. So I want the boys to be sort of committing to a program. I want them training like professional athletes, even though they're not getting paid to do it, because obviously in sport, athletic development is important, and we need the boys to be sort of like getting them big, not getting them big, getting them strong, getting them conditioned. We want them to be ultimately on the field playing football. We don't want them in with the physios and the doctors. That's not where we want them. So my massive part of my job really is to try and keep the boys playing football, prevent them against injury, and just get them into a structured program of training. So whether that's actually physically with me on contact time, or just doing as we are now, having catch-up Zooms and seeing where the boys are at, where they're progressing, and then for me then to be able to adapt programs so that we can keep pushing and striving for these adaptations that we desire and influencing the boys' performance on the pitch, ideally at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my main goal, is to get the boys fit enough and to be able to withstand the demands of the sport. So that's where my role is and what I believe I can bring to the team.
Yeah, because obviously at the World Cup, the team will play every day, back to back. So obviously recovery is a massive part of that for them.
Yeah, understandably so. Like obviously, recovery is important for all sport. So whether it's you're playing football on a Saturday and a Wednesday, you still need that recovery. That's where we get our adaptation, especially from training. And obviously, my role, especially when we're at the World Cup, is going to be try to reduce that fatigue that the boys are going to be experiencing. So whether we implement, like obviously in an ideal world, we love to get the boys in on cryotherapy, getting all the bells, all the whistles, but obviously that's not possible. So obviously what are we going to do for that? Obviously implementing active recovery, if we can get the boys in the pool, getting them moving, sort of bit of massage maybe, static stretching, foam rolling, try to break down that connective tissue, and just really enhancing that, sort of getting the body back to homeostasis as quickly as possible. So obviously when the boys then play, quick turnaround, they are feeling fresh and they're not sort of suffering from any fatigue that is going to be present there. So yeah, that's obviously recovery is huge for my role, and obviously the stronger, the fitter those boys are, the quicker they are going to recover. That's just how the body adapts and how it works. So obviously having a suffice period of time with them before going to the World Cup to make sure they are at the standards where I want them to be is going to help me long term, especially with the recovery process.
And would you say conditioning is probably even more important in soccer, being a smaller six-sided sport rather than 11-a-side football?
Yeah, when I first came on, the first thing I did was sit down and do like a needs analysis of the sport and see what the boys need and what is actually needed from that sport. And I sat down and was like, yes, it is to an extent. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, it is football, and the boys who play 11-a-side or 6-a-side, that doesn't change anything. The demands of the sport is still football. And I was comparing it to make potentially like 7-a-side rugby. So yes, in their respect that it's 7-a-side, but it's also on a bigger pitch.
Yeah.
With 6-a-side boys, it's 6-a-side, don't get me wrong, it's quick, it's fast, it's high tempo, but it is on a smaller pitch. So obviously, yes, we still need those boys to be conditioned. They're going to be doing maximum effort sprints. They're going to be quick turnarounds, massive amounts of agility, sort of deceleration, everything that can predispose the guys to injury. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to be trying to get these boys to play football and meet the demands of a footballer. So with the constraints of being a 6-a-side athlete rather than an 11-a-side athlete.
And what you know about the squad so far, who are you sort of looking forward to working with, and who do you think might be a bit more of a challenge to get them to buy into the whole fitness side of the game?
Great question. I think, obviously, with everything going on at the moment, with the pandemic, I actually haven't had any contact time with any of the boys, and that awful weather that we had back in January, February time, with camps being cancelled and everything, it's put a bit of a spanner in the works with our prep. And obviously my chance to meet the boys and sort of start building relationships, because obviously for me to be able to get my point across and see where I need to go, I need a level of trust with the boys. So obviously to get that, you need to meet them, and trying to do that over, say, social media and over WhatsApp's a bit trickier.
Yeah.
But honestly, I can honestly say that I'm looking forward to meeting all of the boys, and I think from what's been spoken about on, say, over WhatsApp and everything, that the boys are currently doing their own training anyway, and trying to keep as fit as possible during this time. So I think there's going to be zero issues regarding trying to get buy-in from the boys to actually train and stick to the program. So yeah, it's ultimately now really looking forward to try and get back and actually meet the boys and start implementing some strategies and strength conditioning that can actually help the boys moving forward. So yes, tricky start and a bit of a not ideal situation to start with, but obviously moving forward, hopefully in the very near future, we'll want to get together and actually meet and start getting down to the nitty gritty and down to the training. So hopefully there will be a World Cup this year. So
I guess when you're seeing them on a sort of weekly basis, it's a bit easier to track their progress and everything rather than
100%,
as you say, through social media or Zoom or whatever.
I've been trying to put in some sort of like home workouts for the boys, and obviously trying to do that without actually meeting any of them, seeing how they move, seeing what requirements they need is tricky. And I've had to come down, just strip it right back down, go to basics, actually just get the boys moving in some sort, because really during home workouts there's no sort of argument that do you actually get any sort of sufficient adaptations apart from actually just raising the heart and getting the blood flowing. I'd argue you don't really, apart from that. So being, like I said, just get boys on 1 or 2 5Ks a week, just keep that sort of baseline aerobic fit ticking over and keeping that engine going is going to be important. So when we do actually get back in training, we can actually hit the ground running, and there's going to be no sort of having to sort of really start at the basics, but which is going to have to do any day anyway, because I want to see how the boys move, how they're looking, because obviously that's important. I don't want to throw the whole S&C toolbox at them when without actually any sort of background or sort of knowledge on them. So looking forward to getting going now, really, mate. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I'm definitely glad that doing 5Ks a couple of times a week doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, mate. Trying to run in this weather is disgusting. So,
yeah. Well, thank you for taking the time out to speak with me, Alex.
Not at all, mate. Really good to have a chat.
Yeah, I look forward to getting started. I'm sure you do too.
100%, mate. Really looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Top man. Cheers, pal.
Bye.